Rockin' Texas.
This is 13 Minutes to Magic Texas, an abbreviated limited series podcast about the TAOM, SAM, FISM, NACM combined convention on August the 30th through September the 2nd, 2024 in Arlington, Texas, which we call Magic Texas. Every 2 weeks we will post a new episode with new information, updates, and announcements about Magic Texas. I am your host, Scott Wells.
I'm Dal Sanders, the president of the Texas Association of Magicians, TAOM, and the co-producer of Magic Texas.
And I'm Mark Whitehouse. I am the Society of American Magicians Convention Chairman, and I am your other producer of Magic Texas.
And today we're going to be talking about contests. NACM is something that you may not know about or might be put off a little bit and thinking, oh man, I'm not ready to compete on a national level, or I'm just a young person under 18. And I want to assure you that you could, can, and should be not only attending, but considering competing then as well. Mark?
Yeah, so it's the North American Championship, and that's part of FISM. We're very excited about this, and I mean it's an opportunity for people who are attending the convention to see the best.
The best of the best.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also it's important that this is the only path that anybody in North America, Canada, or the United States have to compete. They have to compete in Texas if they want to compete in Italy in 2025.
Yep. From Mexico on up to Canada and, the whole continent there. Now, we're not just limited. Is that right? I think sometimes that we have had other people, let's say, from Asian countries who have competed.
Yes, but they can't compete in their country. They have to choose either this country or their.
They can't
original.
compete in both.
If they're they have to be a member of the SAM or one of the other
or TAOM.
North American
FISM members
groups.
Okay,
and as long as they haven't competed in their other continental competition.
We should mention those other FISM groups too. They're the Society of American Magicians, the International Brotherhood of Magicians, the AMA, the Academy of Magical Arts, or Magic Castle. Mm-hmm. There's CAM, Canadian Association of Magicians. There's
Quebec.
The Quebec Club de Magie, Magic Club. There's Texas Association of Magicians, and there's the Chicago Round Table.
Oh, Chicago Round Table actually is part of
they're the most recent North American group.
Okay. So if you are interested, again, in competing, it doesn't matter age, young or old, that you certainly can. Typically, people think that an adult is the one who's going to be competing, but will there be certain categories for youth and adults? Are they all thrown into one category?
There is not an age difference, but there are different categories, of course, of micro magic and invention.
Yeah, if you want to know the rules and the categories and everything, I would suggest you go to the magictexas.com website and click on contests. The rules are right there. You can download all the PDF of all the rules and all the categories, and it's there's like eight or 9 pages, so it's too much to talk about in just 13 minutes.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is how the TAOM separately has had its own competition each year, as has the SAM. And the SAM, I know, has the stars of the future, or young magicians then as well. How will you guys play together as far as, will there be just the one contest who will have a prize that'll be SAM, TAOM, or will there be separate, kind of looking at two different contests, or are we not quite sure yet?
We're looking at the one set of judges that will be the FISM qualified judges.
Okay.
That will be
an official jury who have actually gone through the training.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And but then we're welcoming others to be there if they wish to make a special presentation or an offer to have someone present at their convention in the future or at their theater.
And also the TAOM will have their own judges for the TAOM contest.
For close-up and stage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm, like we typically do.
Mm-hmm. But it won't be a separate contest.
It'll all be presented one time. So, and we have the Brad Jacobs People's Choice Award, which, is, the jury is everybody in the audience, and it's a people's choice. And, through the magic of electronics, people will be able to choose that evening, and we'll be able to announce that evening who the winner of that award is.
And will those be just those who are the finalists in the gala, or will those be from all of the people who have been presenting and contestants? Okay, just the finalists. Among the finalists will be the, who will give their act a second time on a gala?
Yes.
Okay.
And the gala will be on Monday afternoon. Matinee at I think we've got it scheduled for 4:00 right now, something like that. Maybe it's 2.
Subject to change.
Subject to change.
I mentioned earlier about the Stars of Magic, or the Stars of the Future, and
Stars of Tomorrow.
Stars of Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's another thing. That's not. It's the SAM has a long history of wanting to promote magic with youth.
Mm-hmm. The SYM is a very strong group of Society of Magicians.
We've actually changed the name.
Oh.
Isn't SYM anymore. It's now SAMY. SAMY.
Okay.
Society of American Magicians Youth.
And but back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, Stan Allen actually was one of the people who came up with this idea of having a performance of young magicians. This was called the Stars of Tomorrow, and we've been doing it every year since. And
there's some amazing people who've appeared as
for an example.
Kayla Drescher, Darren Romeo, Ryan Oakes, Megan Swan, David Boyd, also known as Kid Ace, Spencer Horseman, the Reed sisters, Sterling Dietz, Reuben Moreland, Trig Watson, one of the guys who's probably getting more television time than anybody right now.
Everywhere, sure.
Bryn Zabin, Kim Zoller, Derek, also known as Kim Z, Derek McKee, Ian Rich, Timothy Cripes, Eli Portella, and probably the most famous is the guy who was originally, he was the first magician to ever win America's Got Talent, Matt Franco.
With his own show in Vegas now.
And he's got his own show in Vegas. And
he was one of the winners.
Yes, he was one of the...
He was on the Stars of Tomorrow in Las Vegas. I was there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so are those people handpicked to be on the show, or are those competitors, or when they're in the Stars Tomorrow show?
There's a process that they submit a video, and then from all those, there's a total of up to 13 youth that can be presenting either close up or stage, and again going to magictexas.com will take you to the process of how you submit
your videos and
and that information will also be on the SAM website, magicsam.com. So
right.
Are there any additional charges that you have to pay to compete, or is this part of your registration?
A lot of times there are extra charges, but one of the first things I did is I told the committee I don't want to charge extra. I don't want to penalize people who want to compete.
Because they're already paying for transportation, for lodging, and everything else of coming to the convention.
You still have to register.
Sure. Okay.
And everything. But no, you're not going to have to pay another $50 to $500 depending upon where you go compete in the rest of the world, just for the right to compete. So,
and the SAM has always approached this as this is the you're already a winner. Being selected as being one of the people performing. So, this is now an opportunity to just see who is the, can score the highest, and move forward. So.
You already touched on something a little bit earlier, Mark. It had to do with the various categories like close-up or micro magic, as well as stage, illusions, mentalism, and invention, and so many other categories. And again, that should go to the FISM website to see those categories, so you'll know what it is, because the way we typically have done it at the TAOM and the SAM is usually just stage and close-up. But close-up is split up into card magic and coin magic. And so if you specialize in one or the other, there's a certain category you might be more suited for.
Right. And that gives more opportunity for, there's 15 slots that we have to
for people to move forward.
For people to move forward, I believe that's right.
I think it's
North
15.
American.
It might be a couple more than that. But
Okay,
it's
and
right around there.
but because of that, it means that somebody who maybe normally wouldn't get a lot of
Votes?
Because of their niche of magic, now that they can take advantage of that, actually. And
Right.
Yeah.
If you're a really good coin person, but there's someone else who kind of does coins and cards and ropes and rubber bands, and this other person may prove to be a little bit better in the minds of the judges. Whereas if you're just a coin guy, it's like, okay, you get the advance because you're a coin guy.
Right.
Or gal.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to remind everybody too that the FISM North America has put together a team of the best who will be training our FISM North America winners to be ready for FISM in Italy. Headed up by Mark D'Souza. It also includes people like Eric Tate, people who've actually competed at FISM and won. And so this is going to be a real advantage if you compete and you make the cut, you're going to be able to get the best training in the world.
That's true, and you got a good point there too. I think people need to know kind of what they're up against, and that is a lot of times people who haven't been to FISM think, well, it's just another competition. I recommend that you go out and take a look at some of the YouTube videos of past FISM winners, so you can kind of see who you're competing against and what kind of quality of magic they're doing that you need to notch up your, bring
And
it up a
while
notch.
you're at it, you might as well register for Magic Texas.
Where can they do that?
MagicTexas.com.
Oh.
Because we have four FISM Grand Prix winners competing. We have people who
Competing?
not
Performing.
competing, performing.
Yeah.
We have several people who've come in first or second in their category, close up or whatever. Our whole lineup is nothing but FISM worthy acts that have won.
And not only some of those who have won, who may have been here before. There's some people might think, well, I've seen them at this convention or that, but somebody like Norbert Ferrer, for example, I don't remember the last time. I think he may have been at Magic Live, 10 years ago or something.
It's been more than 10 years since he's been in America.
In America.
We talked to him about that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And different people like that who people are going to say, who's that? But look them up. I tell you, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's Mike Miller, our show producer, and I have always talked about the fact that at the SAM conventions, we have the people who will then, a year later, all of a sudden become huge stars. And it's like, we're able to get them first. So, you really... It's really amazing.
This is the place to come and to register. And in addition to that, there are a lot of really cool perks that you get. I know that for the first couple hundred, is there, or 300 as far as getting the poster? We talked about this briefly.
Well, that was the first 400, yes.
First 400.
Going to get a beautiful Thurston poster that you're just not going to believe.
There was the one sheet,
This was originally produced in 1924. And 1926, and they still had the stones in 1964, and a paper company wanted to show off their quality of paper, so they reprinted the poster using the original stones and the original everything. The only thing that's different from the original poster is better paper. So, and these have been in storage for what? That's
since 1960 or something, or 70?
1964.
64, yeah.
And they're pristine. They're sitting in my house
They're
right
not
now.
faded or anything. They look, like 1926, and they're getting ready to be posted on as a playbill someplace.
The only difference is that there's a watermark on them, and you can, from the paper company, so you can see the watermark if you hold it up to the light. So everything is the same. Hey, I've got some news for you, Scotty.
All right, let me hear it.
It's almost time.
Uh-oh. 13 minutes is almost up?
Yeah,
well,
and we still haven't talked about the big news that we have for youth attending.
Oh, yeah. We need to talk about that.
So we'll have to come back with another one. And
it's about that time. There we go. Looks like time is up. Well, we'll have to see you, I guess, on the next podcast. And thank you guys for listening and tuning in.
I'm Dal Sanders.
I'm Mark Whitehouse.
And I'm Scott Wells. Bye-bye, y'all.